We've been taught that butterflies in a new relationship are a sign of true love, but for most of us, that's a biological lie. Those butterflies are actually a somatic frequency alarm, your body recognizing a trauma match you inherited before you were even born. Today, we're moving past inner child cliches to look at ancestral coding and the one scientific shift in intent that can actually transmute the frequency of your trauma.
Want to finally stop reliving the same emotional cycles. Hi, and welcome to the U World Order Showcase podcast, where we feature life health, transformational coaches, and spiritual entrepreneurs stepping up to be the change they seek in the world. I'm your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist, on a mission to help coaches and entrepreneurs amplify their voice, monetize their mission, and get visible. If you're ready to start attracting premium clients without chasing algorithms or hunting people down like a banshee on a mission, head over to coachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. It's the first step to building a business where your clients seek you out rather than you having to hunt them down. Today, we are chatting with Tina Djuretic. Tina is a Canadian author and trauma healing guide whose work blends spirituality, emotional healing, and soul level awareness. After overcoming childhood abuse, rigid religious conditioning, and years of toxic relationships, she now helps others break generational patterns through forgiveness, embodiment, and deeper inner transformation. Her newest workbook, Lost in the Overwhelm, offers a practical, hands-on path to healing trauma from the inside out. Welcome to the show, Tina. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you. It's nice to be here, Jill.
So let me ask you the big question. What's the most significant thing, in your opinion, as individuals, we can do to make an impact on how the world is going?
I think that when we start working on healing ourselves, that's the first thing that we need to do because we all have a soul mission, right? We all came here with a purpose, but our purpose is clouded if we have all this trauma living in our body. Our intuition is clouded because we've stopped listening to ourselves. And in order to match your frequency with that of Gaia that's going right now, well, we need to get rid of all of that trauma out of our body, out of our mind, our soul, so that we can walk with purpose and be the mission we came here to be, the purpose,
Uh,
right, that we've come for.
I agree. And it's so important that people take this journey, and having coaches around like you and authors and people to help them find the next step in the
Mm,
path, because it's easy to get, you're stuck in this trauma, or and it might not even be like something that you're thinking about all the time consciously, but it's just those patterns that have been laid down and the record plays in the background. You quit even noticing it, but you're not moving forward in your business. You're not moving forward in your relationships, in your life. You keep running into the same types of people that end up triggering you, and you really
absolutely.
don't understand why all of that happens. So,
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Right. What's happening in the outside world is reflecting
mm,
what needs to be healed.
mhm.
Relationships that you're having are reflecting what you need to heal. So you're going to keep repeating the pattern of these lousy relationships, if that's what's going on, whether that's lovers or even friends,
Yeah.
even family, right? Anyone, coworkers, you're going to keep attracting whatever frequency is in your body. So again, if you want to make that change, change you. When the frequency of your body goes from fear or anger or resentment, even things like you said might just be subconsciously in the back of your mind, maybe not even in the forefront, often in the forefront, but then that's what the universe is going to match to you. And they're going to keep showing your trauma over and over again to go, heal this, please heal this. It's not a punishment. It's like it is your guides trying to show you the direction that you need to go. That's best for you and all
And you
involved.
and you find that your body starts sending you signals.
Oh gosh, yes. I was listening to someone yesterday who said when you meet that partner for the first time and you get those butterflies in your stomach, and we always
Mhm.
interpret that to be excitement. No, that's rarely ever what that is. That's your body going, run, right? Like run away. But we go, oh, butterflies, that's what true love looks like. Never ever have I had butterflies and then it ended up being true love. If you really go back and look at it, our body tells us we put our own interpretation on it, or what society has told us, or what we want it to be instead of what it is. We stopped listening to our bodies, or we never learned how to be fair, right? There's that too. So it is a learning process. Yeah.
It is a learning process, and so many of us at this stage of our lives are coming to realize that, you know, the way we were taught to don't daydream, shut up and sit down. Your voice is not important. You're being too bossy because you want things to go the way you want them to go. Uh, It's like, why, why were we put in those situations? And how much damage has that done, not just to individuals, but to the world as a whole? Because all of these little lights that have been put under a basket and told not to shine, don't you shine. And usually it's with little girls,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
it does
yeah.
happen to little
Mhm.
boys too, who are a little different. And it honestly makes my heart sing when I see kids today because parents are becoming more aware.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it enough that there are parents that are just like, well, no, my kid can be like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make him weird or different, and we're going to just embrace weird and different.
Different is good, especially because for so long, everything's been so systematic and you're taught, like you said, don't be a free thinker in school. Memorize what we tell you to memorize. I mean, the programming starts so young. And even before you get to school, because it's starting with your own parents, because generational trauma is very real. And
Mm.
broken people raise broken people. There's no getting outside of this law. So if you heal yourself, well, you're going to raise a very different child because you've healed. But if you're still broken, even if you're trying to run away from your trauma, which so many of us did, well, sometimes you go so far in the opposite direction, you just create a brand new trauma. You cannot
Yeah.
escape. You cannot escape this, right? So, from the moment we're born, from the minute we're in the womb, the programming is already beginning. And then you get religion and government and society and the belief systems of where you grow up. All of it is programming us and not to be a free thinker, to follow the norm, right? You can see the people that were raised in an environment where they were allowed to be free thinkers. My goodness, the difference is exceptional. And they're
It
thriving
is.
because they were
Yeah.
never given limitations.
Yeah. It's those limitations that have have caused so much discord within ourselves, and it just makes it until you realize that, hey, there's a problem here, and it's inside me, and
Absolutely.
and it's not that we're broken, it's just that we feel things like I, I don't know if you do human design or not. I'm sure you've heard of it because we all run in the same sorts of spaces. But
Yeah.
um, when I went and looked at my human design, uh, and I don't know very much about human design, but when I look at those kinds of things and the Myers-Briggs stuff and all of those, the enneagrams, and even your horoscope, it it shows you a message that you sent to yourself before you came here. And
Mm,
you are designed to function a certain way in this world, but you're not designed to be like everybody else. And when we live in a society that wants us to be just like everybody else so that they can control us, and that's really all it's about, because you can't control free thinkers.
yeah.
They just don't care. It's
Well,
like,
fear mongering. Look at the amount of fear mongering that's going on right now, coming from every angle. You control people through their fear.
Mhm.
right? We fear everything. We fear the sun. Good Lord, the sun is our best source of energy, right? It's to the point where we put a hat on our head, we have sunglasses on our eyes. We don't allow the sun to touch
Slather
us,
poison all over our skin.
right?
And then we're surprised.
And this is where our energy comes from is the sun, the beautiful sun. There's so many, our water's been poisoned beyond belief.
Everything has.
We're made of water, right? Like water's so important and just everything. But being afraid is what they want. So we shouldn't be afraid of these things. We need to change these things. We have the
I,
power to
we
change.
we can change water.
Yes, we
We
can.
have the power to change our water and our food. And it
Hmm.
doesn't cost anything. It's called prayer. And
Yeah.
I'm I'm with you on the whole religious thing, but the function of prayer outside of a religious context is that you are spelling over a con over a subject like water, like
Hmm.
ourselves, like our
Yep.
plants, like our food. And when you cast that spell, it actually has measurable changes that take place in these things, and they no longer are poisonous to us.
That's right.
We
We can raise the
can,
vibration of our food, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And all we
E-
are is energy anyway.
Exactly. So put good energy in your body, right? Because we can't go around going, well, I can't drink water, it's poisoned. That's not reality. I can't not eat the food because it's being poisoned. That's also not a reality. I mean, we can choose what we eat, make no mistake, right? I mean, if we're just feeding junk food into our faces all the time, this is a choice that we're making. But, I
It's
always
not
say,
food though.
yeah, well, that's
It's
not food, that's garbage, right? But, even for the last 10 years, I live in an apartment, so it's hard for me to grow my own food. Believe me, I've been trying for 3 years on my north-facing balcony to even grow tomatoes. It's so hard, but I've been saying for the last 10 years, I've yet to have a carrot in 10 years that tastes like a carrot anymore. It tastes so sour and nasty, right? So we can't stop eating even things that should be good for us, but we can make our food with intent. Cook our food with love. When they say the secret ingredient to a great recipe is love, that's not wrong. Love is such a high vibration. And then to pray over our food, as you say, or at least give gratitude for it and ask the universe to please raise the frequency of this food as I eat it. Well, that's how we can do that, right? Everything with intent. Everything with intent.
yeah.
Slow
And
down,
this
right?
is not this is not woo. This is actual science. It is measurable and it has been measured. So just like do it or don't, but
Yeah.
it
Everything's a choice. Everything's a
yeah,
choice in life, right?
yeah,
We get to choose.
yeah. So many people struggle with forgiving something that feels unforgivable. Let's talk about
Mm,
that. So, when somebody is
sure.
stuck in pain that feels bigger than them, where do you have them begin?
Forgiveness is always a tough one for people, even people that want to forgive. I wanted to forgive my parents for the abuse that I went through and for the cult that they made us join when I was 10 and just the restrictions and just they weren't good parents. I'm just gonna just call it what it is.
Mhm.
Not bad people, right? Like I've forgiven them and I only wish them love and peace in their own lives, but they weren't good parents. Severely mentally, emotionally, physically abusive. But in my 20s, I tried to forgive them. In my 25s, I know that's not a thing. I tried to forgive them. In my 30s, I constantly was trying to let it go, but I couldn't because they didn't change either. So they would keep doing the things that they're doing. I mean, they couldn't abuse me anymore as an adult physically, but the mental abuse was still there, and the insults and the just the things that come were still there. And so I would also get frustrated with myself that I still allowed it to get to me, but also like, how many times do I have to forgive these people? So when I had my spiritual awakening and really started to forgive. I was ready to forgive, and a lot of people aren't there yet. If you aren't even ready, if you're just so fully in your hatred and in your anger, take steps, right? Because you're only harming yourself. We hear it, right? It's like hating people is like drinking poison. Why do you think it's going to hurt them? It's only going to hear you. We've heard all the stereotypes. But what we don't get is it's hard to jump straight to forgiveness if you're not ready, or even if you are. So take steps, build a bridge to get there. Start with something like gratitude. Because when you're hating people or angry people or just even thinking, gosh, my life isn't fair. I'm a good person. I said this myself so many times. I'm such a good person. How are all of these awful things? God, the universe is punishing me, right? Because that's what it feels like when it's happening. And so
Like
if
you're
you
not
start with,
lovable.
yes, like you don't deserve it, right? But you won't even sometimes admit that to yourself. That's the
Oh no,
subconscious programming of my parents that I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy of love.
it's not subconscious. It's right in your face. It it's something that religion does to us because we're looking for an
Mm,
external savior. And we're trained. You have to be saved by this person. You can't
mm,
possibly save yourself. You are a terrible, horrible, no good person. We're born into sin. It's
mm.
you have no way of escaping it. And we tell children this. It's
Oh,
just
yes.
like horrifying to me. I know I did it to my kids, and my kids are all, they're like, yeah, 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 we didn't listen to you, mom.
Thank God.
Well,
Right?
I kept getting thrown out of churches. So it's like, finally, I got the hint. I don't belong here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll leave the religious thing alone just for now, just because we're working on the forgiveness, but start with gratitude.
Yeah.
And that's hard when you don't feel like you have something to be grateful for, but there's something in your brain that clicks, that changes when you start to become grateful for something. And the law of attraction is also, if I'm so grateful for the things that I have, then spirit goes, "Oh, you're happy. I'm gonna deliver you more things that make you happy." Right? So it's where you begin. And when I first started, I mean, I would wake up every morning and say 10 things I was grateful for, and then I would go to bed and I would list 10 things I was grateful for. And when I didn't have anything to be grateful for, I started with really basic things. I am happy that I woke up today. If that's where you're at, that's where you're at. I am happy that I have food in my fridge. I am happy that my lights are on today, that can afford to live in this apartment, that I have a beautiful apartment. Find things to be grateful for, and it will grow with time, and keep doing it until you're actually finding things you're grateful for, because it does start to change. And it also switches your brain out of this survival mode into a gratitude mode. And then there are, next steps on your bridge to take. Maybe start looking at the things that caused you so much harm and so much pain, and the people that you're trying to forgive. Look for the lesson. What did they teach me? Right? Like, what was the lesson here? And then maybe the next step is finding gratitude for the lesson. Maybe I'm not at you
Yeah.
forgiving you yet, but I'm understanding the lesson that I learned. It did make me stronger. I did grow. So start finding gratitude for that. And this could take days, weeks, or months, depending where you're at. It's going to look
And
different on every one
sometimes
of
it
us.
doesn't even have to like have a finite they're forgiven point. It can be an ongoing process for the whole rest of your life. Just constantly shifting into, yeah, that happened. Just not denying what happened to you, but being
Hmm.
able to look at what happened to you without having to put a label on it,
Hmm.
which in turn labels yourself and disempowers yourself. And and you can get to a point where you can actually be grateful for the things that weren't by normal standards all that great.
Yeah.
But in that way, forgiveness does happen. And it's not about forgiving them. It's
Oh,
forgiving
it's got,
yourself,
it
really.
almost has nothing to do with them. Even when I forgave my parents, by the time I forgave my father, he was passed away. He died. So I spoke to his soul. And before forgiving him, I said all the things I needed to say first that I
Yep.
maybe didn't have the chutzpah to say when he was alive. Things that I probably shouted when he wasn't around all the time, but I had to say those things first. We can't bypass our pain. We can't go around it. Healing is moving through your pain. And that's where what scares people is like, oh, I don't want to go back into my pain. And it's like, but you're living it every single day. You're just disillusioned. If you think you're not, you're also repeating it every single day. It might not be as big as what your parent did or whatever, but you are repeating it because that's exactly what our relationships are, as we said, right? It's a reflection of what needs to be healed inside of you. How could you possibly have a healthy relationship if you're not healthy, or if you haven't healed what's broken yet? Because our soul wants us to heal. That's why we're here, so that we can find and live our purpose and, assist Gaia in her ascension. We can't do our purpose when we're full of this trauma that's in our body and in our mind and our soul. So work your way there. And, you know, and my mother, she's still alive, but did I go to her and physically say, I forgive you? No, because part of my healing was boundaries. My boundaries are rock solid now. I will never tolerate being treated or mistreated ever again. And this was even just tested 2 weeks ago for me with a very good friend I had for 30 years. I went on vacation and realized there was some narcissism there. And by some, I mean a lot. And I went, oh my God, 30 years and I'm seeing this for the first time. Did I like moan, this is a 30-year friendship? I don't want to let it go. No, I did not. I will not have people like that in my life anymore because I love myself now. My programming has been removed and I've put healthy programs into my heart and into my mind and into my soul, and I'll never be treated poorly again. I won't tolerate it. So forgiving them was me letting go of my pain, not letting them off the hook. No, they have
Yeah.
their own karma. They're going to deal with it. That's not my job to decide what their
Mhm.
punishment will be. That's their karma that they will have to deal with. And I say that without like their karma is going to get them either, because that's not a good intent either, right? Part of understanding and being able to forgive was learning generational trauma for me. My parents went through what I went through. They suffered too. They taught what they knew. Broken people raise broken people. Did I become them? I didn't. But I also made a very deliberate choice when I was 12 years old that I would never have children, that I would break this cycle. Was that the right thing to do? I don't know, but it's what I needed to do. And it worked. I mean, I don't have kids, so I broke the cycle, but forgiving them was releasing myself, not necessarily them, right? They have to do their own work. I'm not responsible for anyone else, but I am responsible for me. It's my journey. And in my journey, I want to be healed. So that's where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
No.
And it's important that we all move forward. I do have children and I did traumatize them. And we talk about it.
And
It's
that's
like,
good.
it's not like, in times past, parents wouldn't own up to the fact that, yeah, I did that to you. Ah,
Yeah.
that was crappy. And apologize for it. Because, you
They
know,
don't know how. Their
they
parents didn't
didn't.
do it
Yeah.
either, right?
Right. I can look at it's my mom in my case, and she's passed, but she didn't know how to love another human being.
Yeah.
And she was saddled with three little kids and dragged us all over the world. And my mom was an amazing human being, just in terms of being kind of brilliant, uh,
Hmm.
but she just didn't understand love. Her mom didn't love her, and she didn't love us. She wanted
Yeah.
boys, and she got three girls. It was
That's
just
exactly
like,
what happened to my family. Yeah. Wanted boys, got all girls.
yeah. And our dad was he was in the military and he was an officer and he had expectations for us and he wanted us to like, my mom wanted us to be little boys and dad wanted us to be, quiet little girls. And
Yeah.
it didn't work that way. And neither of my sisters had children. I had all the
Mm,
kids for everybody. I had
there you
five.
go. Yeah.
Spread them
Yeah.
out over 40 years, but it's just trauma does get passed down. And
Yeah.
and we need, as a species, we really need to learn how to deal with some of this stuff and quit trying to like force people to conform to things because I think that's really where the trauma happens, is in the forcing people to be something that they're fundamentally not.
For sure. We're all individuals and we all do things. That's why even when I say it comes to the healing, like how I did it and how you do it, they're not going to be identical. What
Yeah.
works for me might not work for you. I mean, there's some fundamental things that work for everybody, you know what I'm saying, but don't put a timeline on it. Don't put I have to start here. Some people start at the beginning, some start at the middle, some start with the latest thing that hurt me yesterday or whatever. Follow your soul's guidance. Your soul will guide you. It wants you to heal. That's all it wants for you, to heal so that you can now fulfill your mission and walk your path, right?
Yeah.
And be at peace, right? Gosh,
This
inner
is
peace
good.
is so valuable.
It is really valuable. I think this is a good time to talk about your workbook.
Sure.
Do you
Yeah.
want to tell everybody about it? And because it's got practical steps in it
It
to
does. Yeah.
to get
I
out
put
of
this
that.
one out. I put this one out 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago. I published it, and it's called Lost in the Overwhelm because I think that's how we feel a lot. Overwhelmed, right? Overwhelmed by our pain, overwhelmed by our trauma, overwhelmed by just life in general. It's so busy, it's so fast. We never take time for ourselves anymore. Um, and I wrote this because when I started my own healing journey, I started with a memoir, and that's what Spirit asked me to do, was to write a memoir. And I thought, are you crazy? I don't want to expose all the people who've harmed me. That's not fair to them, right? Still thinking about everybody else, putting them first. And Spirit was like, no, this is your mission. You will write this memoir because so many people are going through what you went through that, if you've been through it, someone else has. And we feel less alone when we read someone else's story that's been through what we've been through. Now, when I started to write it, COVID hit. I started to write, and a couple of months later, the world shut down. I lost my job. I had nothing but time to write this memoir, which is also ironic and, how it was meant to be, because when would I have found time to do this before? Now, I also became broke. I didn't have a job. I didn't know how long it would last. So it's not like I could then go to a Reiki or go to a channel or go to the person who told me, that my spirit guides wanted me to write this book. I couldn't afford those sessions anymore. I had to learn how to heal without a dime. And I asked for guidance. I did exactly that. I was like, Spirit, you've put me on this path. Now I need help. And I'd never been on YouTube in my life. Only 4 years ago, 5 years ago, was the first time I opened YouTube in 2020. And I was like, there's got to be something in here to help me. And boom, the first thing that showed up was like working on childhood trauma. And I went, well, okay, perfect. And I found these wonderful teachers and guides. And when I was told to write the book, I was also told take notes because you're going to follow it up with a workbook on how to heal. But first, you're going to have to heal yourself. How can you talk about something if you haven't done it? So that's where it kind of came from, is me trying different methods. And I was willing to try anything when I first tried it out. I had no pride in this at all. It was like, let me try everything that resonates. And I was able to find these things that helped. Some were a little more kick you in the gut. It's time to kick you into gear. And some were very gentle things, depending where I was at and what needed to be healed. So, Lost in the Overwhelm is journaling prompts. It's building a bridge to these things, is a through line that Spirit kind of dropped on my head one day when someone Actually, my editor read my book and she was like, "You're telling people to forgive, but I'm telling you, Tina, you're going to get resistance and you're taking a bit of a hard line on it." And I went back to the drawing board, and Spirit was like, "Build a bridge to get there." You did without even maybe knowing it. And so then I went back and I looked at everything I was talking about and started building bridges to getting there. So, yeah, it's more of a journaling hands-on workbook, but it's got lessons and then actionable things for you to do on your own at your own pace so that you can work on yourself because nobody can do it for you. Teachers and
Yeah.
guides show you the steps to make it easier for you, but you still have to do the work, right? And I'm not saying don't go get help. I think sound therapy is amazing. I think Reiki is amazing. I think listening to teachers is amazing. But ultimately, you have to do the work.
And you have to make the decision that you are going to do the work.
Yes.
It's like you can get all the tools, but until you actually start applying them consistently over time, and that's the component that a lot of people miss also is time.
Yes.
Things don't happen really fast very often. They and when they do, we call those cataclysms.
Hmm.
It's usually a disaster on the other side. So you want things to move slowly and shift, and then the change has happened by the time you're really aware that something has changed. So,
Your spirit's going to guide your timing as well, right? So,
mhm.
so like take that even out of your mind. Like, why have all of these things that are stressing you out? Again, you're just overwhelming yourself more. And also, I think what people don't realize, and this is kind of a get out of jail, not get out of jail free, but stop pressurizing yourself is we never stop healing. Not ever. Not ever. Our entire life is about healing because when we're done healing this lifetime, we're going to start working on past lifetimes and ancestral trauma, right? So the more we can clean up in one lifetime, oh, the better. But it never stops. So there you go. If you just let yourself know that right away, it's not to go, well, what's the point of starting then if it never stops? No, it's like the more that I heal, oh my God, the more amazing I feel and the lighter I feel. Literally, the more I'm healing, I'm literally taking weight off my body. I've lost 25 pounds in the last 5 years because the trauma is dropping physically, mentally, and emotionally off my body. And I love that. I love that.
I love that for you. It's so powerful. And it's not like you're telling people they have to do all of these super expensive things or join certain clubs or do magic incantations. And they're really small shifts that can
That
have a
have a big
huge
impact.
impact.
Yeah.
And I believe we come back. So it's like you may as well get on the bus
Hmm.
and figure out what you're here for because
If you don't deal with
that,
it in this one, you're going to deal with it in the next one. So
right?
you're just dragging it out. You can't get away from that either. So it's not like, well, I'm just not going to deal with it and then life will be over and I'm gone. No, you're going to come back in the next one. And then life's going to have to kick you even harder in the ass because it's like, God, you aren't getting it, right? Like, so just do it. Do it
Write
without
yourself a better
pressure,
note before you get here next time.
right?
I really do think we plan this stuff before we come. It's like, the stuff with my mom, it's like she was kind enough to agree to be the adversary here in this relationship. And I, you know,
You
that's
know,
love.
we often choose the people we trust the most in our soul family to be the
Yeah,
person to harm us in a lifetime.
yeah.
All of my three partners were karmic relationships. And the irony is that I probably asked them to be that lesson for me, right? Like, I need to learn this lesson. I trust you. Will you come down and be the person I'm going to hate in this lifetime? I don't hate them anymore, but boy, I did for a long time. And then one day you go, "Oh my God, I might have asked that person to do that. How can I then turn
Yeah.
around and not forgive them?
Yeah.
I'm just creating more karma for the next lifetime, for me and
Yeah.
them." Right?
And
When
I
you
always
release them of the karma, you release yourself as well. And that's what
Mhm.
forgiveness is, right?
Yep.
So that's the beauty in it. And the more you realize that and feel it and feel how good it is to forgive, it's then easier to forgive maybe the unforgivable, right? Because there's some
Yeah.
things in my life that I thought were unforgivable, and I've
Hmm.
forgiven them,
Hmm.
which is even surprising to me. Not now because I've, come so far, but when I did it, it was like, wow, I'm actually able to let this go. Right? And it feels so good. It's literally a weight, a noose around your neck. So that's why even my physical body is starting to drop weight because the karma is and the trauma is not being housed there anymore. My guide told me once, my guru, my teacher, I asked her once about losing weight. Do I need to give up food? Do I need like certain foods? Do I need to do this? And she was like, it actually has nothing to do with food. She's like, our bodies have taken on so much more fat because it's actually a protective layer with all of the darkness that's happening on the planet. So you're going to lose that as you don't need it anymore. And I went, wow, that's a that's that's a fascinating, it explains why I dieted, yo-yoed my whole life, but it never got me anywhere, right? And so now I'm not even trying and it's coming off. And not in 5 minutes, in 5 years, but it just proves the point, right? That we really do, the body. I mean, what's that book? The body holds the, I don't know, I should have thought of what the book was. The body tells the score. Was that it or something like that,
It's
right?
something like that. Yeah, that
Something
sounds
like that.
familiar.
Yeah. It holds our
And it
trauma.
does. And we need to get over again, the conforming to a certain standard that is not necessarily how we came here to be and how we are experiencing life in this form. I was just like, we can just enjoy the now
Yeah.
and be grateful for what we've got because we have so much. Even people with nothing, as long as they're breathing, they have a lot.
Well, it's somewhere to start to be grateful for, right? And then work your way up from there because it's also not a bad thing to have things, right? We've been taught that it's selfish to want nice things or, that all rich people are bad or whatever. No, why? Spiritual circles, we can manifest whatever we want in our lives. We can manifest abundance and good things, right? But it's really hard to manifest when you're not, first of all, coming from a place of gratitude, and it's hard to be grateful when your life sucks, when you're living in survival mode, right? So again, start with the healing and then you can start working on all of the other stuff that's going to naturally flow into your life when you change the frequency of your life, of your energy.
And different things become important.
Yes. Oh, yes. Mhm. Absolutely.
Ear- Earlier, we opened the idea that there's one thing people must understand if they want to stop reliving the same emotional cycles. What is that core truth, and how does recognizing it begin to shift everything?
For me, it was understanding that I am the creator of my life.
Yeah.
Not only does it give me the power to make decisions to create the life that I want, it stops putting the power in someone else's hands. We talked about religion, you and I, that we've been taught that God is not within us, but that we have to go to someone who's the divining God. Oh gosh, that was the worst thing that ever happened to humanity, was being told that they couldn't go directly to God anymore, or that we aren't God and God is within us. I don't have to go anywhere to find God. God's in me. I just have to tap into that and talk to God, so to speak. So knowing that I am a co-creator in my life puts all the power in my hands. And when bad things start to happen, yes, some of them are lessons, but I'm not going, oh, bad things are happening to me anymore. I'm going, ooh, what lesson am I not learning that this keeps repeating? I have the power to change this. So knowing that you are, without a shadow of a doubt, the co-creator of your life gives you all the power, also gives you all the responsibility.
Yes,
Don't
it
blame
does.
someone else when your life is going to the trash, right? Take
Yeah,
responsibility and know that you can change it. And that's beautiful.
that is really beautiful. And life. takes on whole new meaning when you reach that point, when you recognize that, all there is right now, and I created this. And if I want it to be different, I can make it something different too. I have that power, and every one
Exactly.
of us has the power to do that. That,
Absolutely. Yes. And
yeah,
don't ever let anyone tell you you don't. Making us
yeah,
powerless is how we're controlled, right?
it
Fear and
is. It is.
powerlessness. We are not powerlessness, not even a tiny bit.
And not even, and everyone is important. Don't let
Yes.
somebody tell you you don't make a difference. You do make a difference.
Yeah.
Every one of us makes a difference. We're here with a purpose. And the
Hmm.
sooner that you figure out that that's the truth, the better off the rest of us will be too.
A light goes on, right? A beautiful light goes on. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you walk into a dark room and turn on the light, there's no more darkness anymore. So turn on your light. Turn on your light.
Yeah. And you don't have to have your light like gathered up in the middle with bunched up with all the people. It's okay to take your light off to the corner. Light it up in the recesses and make the light spread around. So how can people reach you?
I have a website, an author's website that people can go to. Both of my books are there, my memoir and the workbook with links as well to purchase if you want. And on the note as well of sometimes we can't afford to heal, and we'll use that as an excuse. You can go to your local library. You can read the ISBN number. I'm going to show you what that is for your readers. There's a number at the bottom of, can you see that there at the bottom? That's your ISBN number with the name of the book, the author, and your number. You can ask any local library to order a book for you because I've been doing it and you don't have to pay anything for it. So there's no excuses for money to hold you back, right? So my website is called sovereignandsage.com. And everything is there.
And libraries are an amazing resource. And once you
I
ask the
love
library
libraries.
to order a book, then that book is now available for other people to transform their lives or take that adventure or have an experience. Books, I love books.
Me too.
They're real books, not like
Yes,
online books. There's just something magical about them.
I agree.
Tina, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's been a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me, Jill. It's nice that it's good to have people like you that are wanting to spread the word through podcasts, through, everything that you do. And that's why we're here. Like you said, spread our light.
Yeah,
Lean your candle over and light the next one.
yeah, it's so important. You can learn more about Tina and find the workbook Lost in the Overwhelm at sovereignandsage.com. And I want to thank you all for joining us today. If you're ready to amplify your voice, monetize your mission, and start attracting premium clients, your next step is simple. Head over to coachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. Remember, change begins with you. You have all the power to change the world. Start today. Get visible.